If you don't like beer and you are legally able to drink it, you may have had the wrong beer, or maybe you had it served incorrectly. I do like certain beers, and I don't like other beers. So I find it difficult to accept when people say, I don't like beer. Have you tried it all? How do you know? There's so many beers in the world. Over the years, I've tried some rather amazing beers. My favorite of all time was Rollick from Pyramid Ale. It was a seasonal, and I think it was a pale ale, but it was so smooth. Oh my, it went down so smoothly. It was so amazing. Generally speaking, I don't drink a lot of beer, if only because I don't exercise enough to drink so much beer without developing what they would call a beer gut. I do, however, want to say that I'm a huge fan of this type of beer. You might be wondering what type of beer this is. It is a beer in a tumbler that says Chris Pirillo, Chief Nomi. It's actually not just a beer. It's a beer with V8, also known as a red draw, at least in certain parts of Texas. And sometimes you would put beer with tomato juice. That's not as good as if you put it with a low-sodium V8. That's my opinion. It tastes so good. Oh, it's so... If you don't like beer, try it with a V8 and tell me what you think. Now, if you don't like beer and V8, you're probably not going to want to try it. Oh, that is so good. Did you have a sip?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah! My wife, Diana, is a master at the red draw. Oh. Mm. So why are you watching this video? You might ask yourself. No, it's not to watch me drink this, best red draw you've ever made in your entire life. It's so good! It's to point you to an article that we've recently created on my blog, chris.pirillo.com. Our top 5 beer tips. Take a look. A few beverages have stood the test of time, but beer has been around longer than you, longer than a lot of us. Beer has been around pretty much since the dawn of civilization. How could you not like that? In many cases, beer is safer to drink than a lot of the drinking water that's in the world. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it through this video. Take a look at the link if you want the full outline and description. In fact, this morning on Facebook and Twitter and Google+, I posted a status update that said, beer. What are your tips for drinking it, enjoying it, etc.? And so many of you came forth with suggestions, including the first suggestion, choose the right beer. You can't just come out and say, I hate beer. Because there's so many flavors to be explored. So many. Choose the right one. In fact, one of the suggestions, as posted by Lars Fosdal, he advises if you don't like it, drink something else. He continued, I've also taken a low-carb beer for barbecues, as it doesn't give you that bloated feel. Jason Cox adds, if you're not fond of the bitter flavor, avoid things like pale ales, which are heavy on the hops. So if you had a beer, it's too bitter. Don't go with the pale ale, which they may be serving you. It's just a suggestion for you. And you don't have to drink the beverage alone. And that's a key. If I was sitting here drinking this red draw on my own, I wouldn't enjoy it as much as I am drinking it with you. You're kind of like a drinking buddy. This is a positive environment. We like learning. We like sharing advice. I'm here with my wife who made this red draw. Did you make one for yourself?
No. I put some in the fridge. They were.
Ho! You have no idea. I know so many people are going to go out there. They're going to Clamato or tomato juice. They're going to try it. If you've not tried it, I had no idea it could taste this good. Pouring. And I learned this when I worked at Pizza Hut years ago when I was a kid. I was old enough to serve the beer, not old enough to drink it. But I learned that the way that I would pour it out of the tap is I'd tilt the glass to the side, and to give it a good head on the top, the little foam at the top, I gave perfect head in the beer for the. I can rewind this, can't I? You can delete that in editing, can't you? I think you whatever you put in here is strong enough for me not to drink the rest of it for now. The foam at the top of the glass. It's known as the head. Like a bathroom is known as a head. The top of the foam is... Pouring can be important. Temperature is also very important. You've got to keep that in mind too. If some people like warm beer. I don't know why. But if it's not at a good temperature for the type of beer that you've brewed, it's not going to taste optimal to your taste buds. Keeping ice in a cooler is one thing, but did you know that beer actually gets colder when that ice has mostly melted? Did you know that? Little tip for all of you who like beer or want to like beer. And then, of course, the big thing, light beer versus dark beer. There is absolutely a difference. We've got tips and tricks to help you better enjoy beer in your life, or maybe you have a friend who enjoys beer. Or would like to enjoy beer. I would like to enjoy beer, I just don't know how. We've collected a set of tips and tricks for you and linked them conveniently in this video's description.